It's Lock West in the morning with Ron C. P when your legs cooking, they stirring the pot. We talking that fly shit, got it popping like hot grease. The mother stations is cool, but trust they not these.
Hey, what up, ladies and gents? Welcome to the Spin Room. I'll be your man, Big Pee Wee. We in the building once again. Hey, yo, I 1, 2, 3. I got my crew with me. Hey, you like that, huh? No, that didn't
No.
work.
No,
Okay.
that because you were kind of off beat, man, so it didn't work out.
Ron, you didn't have to bring up the fact that I was off beat. You could have just said it didn't work. You know what I'm saying? It's all good though. My folks in the building. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Like I said before, to the spin room. I'll be your man, Big Pee Wee, and it's going down. Another episode of Tea Talk. We gonna fire it back. We got one gotta go. We got all kind of stuff, man. Remember when? Millennial Minute, digging in the crates. So the
Hot
crew we
seat.
gonna get. Oh, see, Rod,
Don't
almost
forget.
forgot.
Don't
Thirsty
forget the
for
hot
that hot
seat.
seat.
You know what I'm saying? All right, so let me
You know what
introduce
I'm
my
saying?
crew that's with me. Ladies and gents, my ride or die, Big Les. What up, Leslie Les?
Hey, what up, people?
Miss Everything J Tasha.
What it do, baby boo?
And my man DJ Rossi. What up, Ross Sizzle?
Man, what up, man? I'm in the
Uh,
building. What up, y'all?
hey man, so we gonna have a good show today. First and foremost, just want to double check and check up on you guys. How's everybody doing?
I'm
Good.
good, man.
All right.
Just
There it
stay
Can't
is.
safe,
complain, brother.
staying out the way.
Yeah, it is. We got a lot going on in the world today. So Big Les, you ready for that entertainment report?
I am. Let's get to it,
All right,
man.
let's get it off.
Straight off your timeline, here's Big Laz with your entertainment news on the Spin Room.
As you know, we are in like a trilogy of nightmares between the pandemic, the protests, and of course, here in California, we've had earthquakes, and then over on the Gulf Coast, the storms happening. So Mother Nature is angry. There's a lot going on in the universe, but there's some good things that are kind of coming to light because of what has been happening, kind of like when you plant a lotus flower in the mud and here it comes and it blooms and beautiful things happen. So let's start with Michael Jordan and Jordan Brand. They're going to donate $100 million to organizations fighting for racial justice and equality. And I think it's a beautiful thing. The basketball legend announced that over the next 10 years, he and his brand are going to donate $100 million, making sure that these organizations are dedicated to ensuring that social justice and greater access to education happens, and ensuring that racial equality is priority number one. So I think it's a beautiful, beautiful thing that he has put his money where his mouth is and supporting this cause.
That's
Continue.
really dope.
Yeah, continuing with the support, and there's a long line of people I'm going to talk about today. Shout out to Kanye West. He launched a college fund for Gianna Floyd, which is the daughter, as you know, of George Floyd. It's a 529 college savings plan to fully cover her tuition. She's 6 years old now, but of course, by the time she's ready to go to college, it will mature. He's also going to donate $2 million to Ahmaud Arbery and Breonna Taylor's families. So he's doing really big things as well. The money that he is donating toward the legal defense funds for George Floyd, as well as Ahmaud Arbery and Breonna Taylor, started also comes with the GoFundMe that was set up by the family of George Floyd. And so far, they've raised $1 million. So it's a beautiful thing that's happening. People are coming together. The ones that you least expect are really stepping up. And I'll just say this, and I'm sure you guys can agree that even though we have a ways before the trial actually happens between the people who killed George Floyd, if the verdict does not come down with convictions on all, we can expect Armageddon to happen all over again. If the presidential race puts Trump back in office, we can expect Armageddon to happen all over again. And if there isn't justice for Breonna Taylor's killing in Louisville, Kentucky, we can expect hell to break loose all over again.
I agree with you 100% on that, Leslie Les.
Yeah.
100.
So I don't think, and between all the people protesting, some people with masks, some with not, we've got the numbers of the pandemic are rising. We're going to still, again, without being Debbie Downer, talk about some beautiful things that are also happening in the midst of all of this. So Jay-Z has bought full-page ads in multiple newspapers across the U.S. to pay tribute to George Floyd. And it also featured a passage from Martin Luther King Jr.'s 1965 address that he delivered in Selma, Alabama. Partially, I'll read that. It says, quote, "A man dies when he refuses to stand up for that which is right." It continues. A man dies when he refuses to stand up for justice. A man dies when he refuses to take stand for that which is true, end quote. And of course, it goes on longer than that, but for time's sake, I'll end it there. JC also has lent his private plane to Ahmaud Arbery's attorneys to attend a court hearing that they had so they could make it in Georgia. I guess the date came up sooner than they anticipated, or it was a last minute thing and there were no flights available, especially with the pandemic and stuff. Everything's limited. So Jay-Z, again, somebody who put his money where his mouth is and his access and hooked him up.
I'm glad to see more celebrities doing that. And like, I seen Michael B. Jordan just went out there on a protest, and he was literally saying he's donating and reorganizing his services towards, you know, more Black and brown in front and behind the cameras. So I was like, I'm glad that they're actually doing that in their position they have.
Yeah, it's beautiful. I mean, we've seen Jamie Foxx take the stand. We've seen Keke Palmer out there in the streets making it happen. A lot of people are really doing what they can. Ajuan Ellis, the Broadway actress, she's doing her thing. She just played in the Clark Sisters. And so she had something here in Hollywood that brought a whole lot of people out at the Academy. And then there are those who are supporting behind the scenes, staying safe at home with their families and writing checks, or doing whatever they can. So, you know, everybody doesn't have to be out in front, on the forefront, in your face. They're doing what they feel in their soul they need to do.
Right.
And you know, that's so great that you said that, Les, because I think that's the most important part is that, you know, that people realize that you don't have to be on the front line posting. There's so many other things that you can do to be part of the cause. Making sure that your voice is being heard on multiple levels. Like you said, you have people that's writing the checks. You have people that's talking to legislation and trying to get certain laws changed up and stuff like that. People are actually on the front line, behind the scenes, talking to the police officers and their union and stuff like that. So there's a lot of things that's going on behind the scene that a lot of us don't know anything about, but I'm just glad that you pointed that out. There are multiple things that we all can do that can be put towards making this change.
Yeah, so it's always tough when you're a celebrity that people automatically assume that you have to be a role model for somebody else's kids, or, you know, that they don't have financial crisis of their own. And again, we're in the middle of a pandemic, so people really need to kind of be cautious or stay at home and take care of their health, because these are parents as well as actors. You know what I mean? So Lady Gaga hands over her Instagram to racial groups for racial justice. She said, quote, "I support the unsupported voices of the Black community," and she's donating 10 racial justice organizations, including Black Lives Matter, the Marsha P. Johnson Institute, and Color of Change. And she just said, "I applaud all the brave citizens of this nation that are speaking up." So props to Lady Gaga, who is doing an amazing, amazing thing. Also, boxing champ Floyd Mayweather, he also paid for George Floyd's funeral. For those of you who don't know, it was held in his hometown of Houston, June 9th. And, you know, he didn't go to press about it, but obviously people found out about it, and, you know, there it is. So that's the gift that he felt like giving from his heart. Oprah Winfrey is going to host Where Do We Go From Here, which is a town hall conversation with Black thought leaders and activists. It's going to be on the OWN channel June 9th and June 10th. Also, there's going to be a simulcast across the parent network, which is, you know, Discovery, and some other 18 other networks. So she said, "I thought it would be both of interest and service to bring their ideas, concerns, and comments into a national spotlight, and involved are just a couple of people that we'll see: Atlanta's Mayor Keisha Lance Bottoms, filmmaker Ava DuVernay, David Oyelowo, and Color Change founder Rashad Robinson, NAACP, and a whole lot of other organizations." So that's a beautiful thing. And I just wanted to ask you guys to get your opinion on something. The singer Halsey has been getting a lot of backlash for her comment. And her comment pretty much was that she revealed that she's in pain for her family, but admitted that she is not susceptible to the same violence due to her skin color. I don't know if you guys know that even though Halsey looks as if she is all white, her mother is white, her father is Black. Her mother is Italian, Hungarian, and Irish, and her father's African American with some Irish ancestry. So she has very much made it clear that she knows that she has privilege because of her skin color. And a lot of people felt like, why aren't you acknowledging or telling everybody that you're half Black? Which in fact, I think it's braver of her to step up and really support the cause and recognize that she would be considered, you know, the house Negro versus the field Negro, and recognizes what her privileges and the access that she has. But what are your thoughts on that as we close this out?
Ron
Mm.
C.
I, to be honest, I didn't. That's my first time hearing it, so I really don't. I didn't know she was half black. I didn't know that at all. So that's all new to me. So somebody else answer, because I'm like, that's my first time hearing it. So
Tosh?
Jay Tasha.
I didn't know she was half black either, but the fact that that she does notice that the difference how she's been treated because of her skin color, and she's making it, letting it be known to others. I don't think anything is wrong with that. I don't think it's wrong at all. And she is fighting for her black side just as much as she knows the privilege she has from her white side. So I have no issues with that.
P?
I got two things. First thing is, I can't stand when people feel like they get on social media and they have to air out and say, well, why don't you do this? Why don't you do that? Hey, the fact that at the end of the day, what she did was she made awareness of this is my privilege. She didn't have to, I don't think that's her job to be, well, I'm half black and my mom is this and my father's this. That's not what this is about. It's the fact, it goes back to what we said earlier. Everybody has their own lane that they're in to help with this social justice reform that needs to happen, and their part in what they're doing with Black Lives Matter. That's her part. End of discussion. Like, I get tired of people that they Twitter fingers and they gotta criticize somebody every single time. She didn't say anything negative. She didn't say anything wrong. She just said, hey, I see my privilege and I see what's going on and I want to help out and make the change. That's it. Done.
It's a beautiful thing she's doing. And shout outs to Justin Bieber too, who acknowledges that his whole culture and everything else about him is in support of African American and Black people. So, but that's it for the entertainment news for this week. And I'm glad we were able to bring awareness to what the celebrities are doing and supporting the cause. So let's got everybody stay safe out there in these streets, and Black lives do matter.
And I love your hat, Les. I love that. Black is beautiful. I love that hat.
I say every day.
All right, man. Don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, you can follow the Spin Room on all platforms. You can get the full episode of this entertainment report by my girl, Big Liz, on YouTube at the Spin Room, social media, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and a whole lot more. All you got to do is search the Spin Room, THASPINROOM. For DJ Ron C, Jay Tasha, Big Les, I be your man, Big Pee Wee. We are the Spin Room, and we are